TheAngryHoneyBadger.
Hey everyone, it is TheAngryHoneyBadger here, and it is time for another champion build video. We're going to be playing as Rengar today after his rework. But first, we're actually getting into a 1v1 with the enemy Rengar because everybody's playing him. So, coming up first, actually gets off to a better start than me. He gets the first attacks off, but he's soaking up minion damage, which is why I continue to fight him there. Now, he actually is going to ward and jump back to me and hit me with the next attack to get ahead. But once again, he's got minions focusing him. So once I know I got him low, I'm actually going to flash out since he used his already and actually secure the first blood. So as much as he got the first few hits, I knew if I was actually backed by my minions, I'd be okay because minions earlier are going to do a lot of damage, and it was just enough to take him out. So we're going to actually pick up first blood against the enemy Rengar, which will put us into a good position for this game. Although this is just an extremely close game all over, so it's actually mostly just the Rengars doing work because he's very, very strong right now. Here, Yi comes out for the gank a little bit sooner than I thought he would be up to top. He actually skipped his blue buff. If you look at it, you see he only has one buff. Luckily, I told my jungler to roam immediately to top lane because I was expecting the gank. Enemy Rengar messes up again. He probably could have came back and actually killed me here, but I'll pick up another kill with the help from Kha'Zix. So, actually off to a really good start this game. So, but what we're going to do today in this build video is we're going to talk a little bit of everything you need to know, whether you're playing Rengar, or probably actually going to talk a lot about what you might want to know if you're playing against Rengar. Rengar right now is extremely strong. Even after his rework, a lot of people think he's weak. Guess what? That's wrong. He's still super strong. You just need to know how to play it, how to itemize it, and it still works out extremely well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So what we're going to start off with is his abilities, so we know what we're talking about. Starting off with his passive, that's his Unseen Predator. While in a bush or while he's stealth, Rengar will leap to the target, and he'll build 1 ferocity with each ability that he uses on an enemy. When reaching 5 ferocity, Rengar's next basic ability becomes empowered, granting it bonus effects. So that's his passive. So one thing we'll talk about that in a little bit is Unseen Predator and what you want to do if you're playing against Rengar, or just how to avoid unforeseen threats if you're playing against Rengar. So we'll talk about that coming up. Next is his savagery. Now, coming down to personal choice in lane and how you max abilities, I know a lot of people do it a little bit differently. So it totally comes down to how you want to do this. Now, I like to max out my Q first, so we put a point into it at level 1. Rengar's next basic attack, within 2 seconds, will deal additional damage on top of it. This scales as you put points into it. It's pretty helpful. Yeah, Frosty bonus, Rengar deals enhanced damage. I'm going to keep the bonus ones down. You can read into those a little bit more. We're just going to get the basic known facts about his abilities. At level 2, I typically put a point into probably my Bola, or depending on how things are going, we might throw it into our Roar, because Roar's bonus actually will heal you instead of dealing AoE damage around you. So if you want to get that with your bonus Frosty on your Battle Roar, you put that point into that level 2. If you want to start sustaining a little bit more early on in the game, you do that. So you gotta be careful there. They were actually get taken out by Yi and Rengar. But so you can do that. But we're gonna actually max out our Roar last, and then put a point, like I said, either at 1 or at level 2 or 3 into your Bola Strike, which is your E ability. Now, what happens there is you throw your Bola to a target, is a skill shot. If it hits them, it will slow them. With the bonus Frosty, it'll actually hit them and stun them, or lock them down. So that's what happens. It'll root the enemy. So that's that simply put. And then finally, your ultimate is Thrill of the Hunt. What happens here is Rengar activates his predatory instincts, gaining stealth for an amount of time. You start entering it. I believe it's delayed for 3 seconds, I believe, until you jump out of it. You can jump to enemies. You gain increased movement speed while you're in it. They get an indicator when you are close to them. Whenever you break your stealth, though, you are going to gain bonus movement speed and ferocity per second for 5 seconds, I believe is how it works. Anyways, you're going to go invisible. You're going to jump out of it and kill people. That's how to put it, simply. We're just going to summarize it. That's much easier to do. So, we're actually going to go roam right now because we are level 6. We have a few items. We'll talk about those in just a second. We're actually going to roam down here. We are going to activate the ultimate. We are now ready to pounce on someone, which we choose Nidalee. We're going to go ahead and slow her, hit her up. And then, here's one of those things which you need to know when you play against Rengar. This Yi should keep running down away from bushes. Now I can leap to him. He's going to run into another bush, which allows me to, wherever he goes, to leap to him. He should have immediately went down and ran for his middle turret on the bottom side of the map, not into any bushes. If you don't run into a bush, I can't catch up with you unless I land a Bola, in which you can just be prepared to either dodge or just pray that they miss it, since it is now skill shot since the rework. Before, so it was not. It was you just had to click it onto them and it would hit them. But now it's a skill shot. There's a chance that they might miss it. So don't run into bushes when you're being chased by him. I know that's like hard to not do because you usually want to lose vision of you. But all he has to do is walk in that bush, in whichever direction you go, he's going to be jumping a very large range across to get to you. So just don't walk into bushes. It's such a simple thing that so many people forget. So yeah, it's hard to break. Here we're roaming again bottom because top lane's kind of boring. The other enemy Rengar knows he fell behind early, so he's staying away from that. Here we actually catch up to Yi. Yi actually finds the whole team. He actually does pick up a kill, but we will end up finishing him off. So don't have to worry about it too bad. So we do finish him off, and that'll help us out with another kill. So we'll continue to be fine with picking up kills. So first early on items is what we did is we actually picked up a Ghostblade. Good damage early on in the game. Now this build might look very familiar because a lot of people are using it, but a lot of people will actually be stacking Blades early on in the game, which is completely fine if you want to do that. Since I actually was able to get a little bit ahead early, I ended up picking up the Vampiric Scepter. I personally like to sustain while I'm in lane. We also picked up an early Tiamat. You're going to want to pick one of those up. You get a lot of bonus damage from that, so if you want to pick up the pickaxe part of it first, you can do that. You also do get some health regeneration within that item, so that's pretty helpful too if you want to do that. The other thing that we did do too is that we picked up a little bit of armor in our boots. We'll be building those into Ninja Tabby this game because of what their enemy team brings to the table. If you wanted to go ahead and pick up Mercury Treads, you could do that as well, but once again, that'd be probably if they had a very stun-heavy, magic damage-oriented team, you would want to pick those up. So first things that we've done though is we've finished off that I like to quickly finish the items. I probably rush things a little bit faster than some other people. They might start building other items too, which is totally fine. You got to find yourself personal preference. Not only one way works. You can try multiple things to get things to work, but this will also help me clear a lot faster. And so we finished off our Ravenous Hydra right away. And I like Ravenous. It's great for clear. It's great for side pushing. I'm doing that really well right now. I'm pushing down another tower. You can do this really well. And then I can go roam too with my ultimate coming up. So that's completely fine. So just, know about that and know that that's what you can do. Now, that's really what we're doing early. I will say I'm not the world's greatest Rengar player. I don't play him a ton. I used to play him a little bit, actually pre-rework. But I don't play him a ton anymore. He is, like I said, very strong right now. You can delete people, which we'll see coming up. You'll see it on both sides. Me and actually enemy Rengar have almost identical builds this game because this works extremely well on Rengar right now. And we've actually just finished off our next item. We picked up the Last Whisper, which is going to help us ignore just all of their armor pretty much and just murder anybody we want. It's a very, this is one of those heavy armor pen builds. And I like it. It works out for me. Here we're going to pressure down this middle lane. We're going to do decent damage to the turret. And especially with the help of our other two. Here comes enemy Rengar. We're going to immediately turn around on him, pick up the kill on him. Now, I'm going to flash. Enemy Yi decides to flash for the kill. He picks it up, but we'll pick up a kill on him. I mean, I personally won't, but I mean our team will. We will, as a team, pick up a kill on him. So, you'll see a lot of Rengars diving deep like that in this game. This enemy Rengar actually does it a little bit too much. Sometimes it does pay off really well. I do it like once or twice this game, and it pays off okay. But you got to be careful because if you go a little bit too hard, you get caught out. And if you get caught out before you finish off deleting somebody, then it's really not that good of an exchange for you. So you got to be careful about that. But we'll point that out too. We're going to point out mistakes in builds too, or in these videos, just to take note of what you should and maybe shouldn't be doing. So here we actually kind of get caught out. They see me because I saw Nidalee. I wanted to go in. I do finish her off, but then out of nowhere, Rengar and Yi show up. I thought I could take him on, but Rengar out of nowhere, that's going to become a problem. So, I'd take one out at least, but we still have to be careful around the map because those two other champions can actually close pretty quick to us. And, yeah. And there's our mid laner standing around. How fun. So, continue with the items. Like I said, we picked up that Ravenous Hydra. We have the Last Whisper. We finished off our Ninja Tabby. And now we actually have a Brutalizer. We'll be building this into something in a bit. But we'll get to that in a second. Now, let's talk about his runes for a second. Now, for the runes, you're going to want to prioritize damage. You want to get ahead early in lane. He's very, very strong on the first couple levels of the game. Jumping in and out of bushes while in lane, if you want to do that. He's just got good damage. So what we do is we take attack damage marks we're going to go ahead and take armor seals. We're going to take magic resist per level glyphs, and then we take attack damage quintessences. So we're going to get some decent damage there. We'll also get a little bit for survivability. You're going to want a little bit when you jump into teams. Here we're going to actually jump in. We're just going to find Sona. She's close. We'll just hurt her up quick and kill her. Here, actually great stun there by our Syndra. But after the couple heals burned by the enemy team, that Nidalee will get away. But still picked up a kill on the Sona, and we're in a strong position at 24 minutes with a lot of items really completed at this point in the game. So yes, we're gonna jump in there and actually pick up a kill too before we die. But you know, trading, it's gonna happen. We'll get to a better point later on where we can trade a little bit better than that too. But what you really want to do when you're playing as Rengar, or at least what you try to do, is since you can sneak into the back of fights a little bit, it's really helpful if you can do that, jump in on either the AP carry or the AD carry on their team. They'll get a little bit of a warning, so they might know a split second beforehand because they'll get that exclamation point above their head. But if you can delete them before the team can react to the exclamation point, you've pretty much done your job as Rengar. And then you can usually brawl for a little bit because you've taken out a high damage priority target, so you don't have to worry about that too much. So that's what you really want to do when you get into those fights. Now we have finished off our next item. We did finish off that Brutalizer into our next item. We finished it into the Yumu's Ghostblade. Now Ghostblade, you have the active on it, of course, that you can use, which will help you out with, you know, chasing or getting away if you really wanted to use it defensively. But now we have 3 items. We have lots of armor penetration, so we don't really have to worry about anything like that. We can still side push other lanes. If I run into enemy Rengar, though, that kind of comes down to who has more stacks and can get the Frosty up, who can win that fight mostly, because we're at both very equal-ish points. I know I got ahead early, but he's caught up later on with kills. There he actually comes in. Here I'm going to turn around and use my ultimate. I'm going to go ahead and jump on him, or actually on Nidalee, switch to him as he's up front, kill him, and kill Nidalee. If Caitlyn would not have ulted me, I would have been able to take actually both of those targets out and probably lived. So that would have been a great exchange for me, but unfortunately, Caitlyn, she had the ult up, and she sniped me, so I'm dead. Unfortunate. Kind of sucks. But, you know, that's a 2-for-1, and those are 2 big targets for me to take out. And this is right before, this footage is right before the Nidalee switcheroo. So, yeah, this is like a couple days old if you're watching that. If you know, patch 4.10 just happened, like this is the day before. So, so that's what's happening right now. We picked up another Brutalizer because it's awesome. We also picked up a little bit of health. You can probably guess what we're building that into. Go ahead. You can guess. You got it correct. It's the Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is going to help us out as this game goes on too. They start picking up armor, although they're not a very tanky team, but neither are we really. So it's one of these full damage brawly games where lots of dying is occurring because lots of damage is in our inventory. So that's kind of what's happening with that. So let's talk a little bit about those masteries. Now masteries, pretty simple stuff. 21-9-0. 21 in the offense, you're going to pick up everything over there. It's going to help you with attack damage, your ratios, dealing more damage to them when they're low, all that fun stuff. You're going to pick up everything over there, help you get nice and damagey in the 21. Now 9 in the defense, help, you know, a little bit with defense really. Not too much there. But yeah, that's really it for that. So be careful. Now, there's lots of different ways you've probably been seeing Rengar played lately now with the quote-unquote rework. I've seen a little bit of the tankier ones, and I would suggest that the tank Rengar build actually does work, but probably best if you're behind. Now, what you want to do to counter Rengar early on if you are playing against Rengar in the top lane, one thing I would highly suggest, and I've seen it work a ton of times, and it's unfortunate that this is the best way to do it, but have your jungler camp that lane. He really doesn't have amazing escapability because he's got to jump to someone from a bush. That's his big gap close, which doesn't work when he's running away. It only works when he's chasing. So once you get him to burn a flash, the only thing he's really got helping him out is his E. Whether he can land his slow, which if he's getting ganked, 2 people are obviously going to be able to do okay against that. Here we find Yi dancing because he thinks he's super cool. We're going to ignite him, and then we're going to kill him because he's dumb. And then we're going to go for Caitlyn. We're slow. We're going to flash over the wall, use the ultimate because Nidalee is right up there too, and then jump across. We're going to speed up the footage a little bit. Not a lot actually happening in between there. We are now just officially full build. We had that Black Cleaver finished off a minute ago, and then we actually finished off with the Guardian Angel. Good survivability. Helps us delete people. There we helped Graves pick up a couple kills. And yeah. Finish off with that GA. That way, when you do jump into the back of a fight and you do delete somebody, such as like that Caitlyn or Nidalee or whoever, then when they go to respond to kill you, it'll take them longer because you have armor and magic resist, but then also you're going to come back, and during that time, hopefully your team is responding and killing them for knocking you down into your GA. So there's a few different things you can, kind of helpful with that. And I like that. And thank you, Syndra, for canceling my back. Because what the hell are you doing? That Syndra's crazy. Anyways, so yeah, Guardian Angel, we pick up the health, or sorry, not the health, the armor and the magic resist, and I'm not saying that makes us tanky, but that's survivability. Now here, Rengar, I don't know, same with Yi. I don't know if this is throwing the game. I mean, I'd call it throwing the game. They went really hard, and they were right, the rest of them were right behind them, but they just went probably just a second in front of the team. So this is going to result in the game match. So we'll take the win. They're going to actually surrender now because 4 of them are dead. So that's going to be a build for Rengar. Everything you need to know is down in the description. Hopefully this helps you pick up a few wins. And until next time, I'll just see all of you guys in the next build video. Now here, actually, we're going to kind of bait the enemy team out because I know I can destroy him. There we use the Ghost. Here he's going to drop that. I'm going to Hourglass. They'll close in on it because they know once it's up, I'll be done. But there I just actually Shempo over and ult them and then instantly reset and pick up both of those kills pretty simply. So kind